Okay, so let's go ahead and begin with the assembly of our cute basket. Now I just want to go over the pieces really quick. These pieces that I have here on the table are going to create the basic structure of the basket. There's some additional pieces here. You'll notice the difference is that these pieces don't have the scallops on top. Okay, these pieces do have scallops. Okay, this is actually a liner that will go in the bottom. And then there's also a few more similar shaped pieces. These do have scallops, but these bottom pieces here, or the bottoms of these pieces, don't have tabs. And these pieces here are also liners, and they do not have any tabs. So this is what you're going to want to cut out of your pattern paper. You can do it out of cardstock if you'd like, but we did it in, I believe it was Echo Park paper. Anyway, let's go ahead and begin the assembly of the basic structure of this guy. And I've got my texture side is going to be out. Okay, so I'm just kind of flipping it over, and I started folding some of these tabs here. You don't necessarily have to do that just yet. We're going to grab the base of our box, and I'm just going to put it on my table. And what I like to do, just to ensure that I get good precision with my gluing, is just line these up while they're flat and just make sure that the score lines match up with the base there. And go ahead and place some glue on the base here. And you want this tab to be inside. So again, just make sure that you got glue in there. Push and hold it down. Give it just a few seconds to get a grip. And the beautiful part about this is, even if you get a little sloppy with your glue, as we all occasionally do, it's hidden and it won't be seen. So as long as it doesn't pop out on the other side, and in my case it did a little bit, you still end up with a perfect product. And I've talked about this in previous videos. This Scotch Quick Dry Glue, it dries real quick. It actually dries clear, but sometimes you can see a little sheen. I tend to rub it off if I get a little extra on there. So that is in place. I'm going to grab the other piece, make sure that my textures are consistent as far as which way they're pointing. I got my texture side out. So I'm going to place this right here. I'm going to bend this tab over just to make sure that I've got a good alignment. Okay, that looks good. Place a little bit of glue. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the tab this time, sort of in the middle, because as you push down, it's going to make its way in either direction. And again, I keep talking about getting that little tip for my glue bottle, and I never do it because I'm so busy with everything else, but maybe someday. So there's the basic structure of that. And then what we can do, and these pieces are identical here, so it doesn't matter which one you grab. I'm going to grab one, fold this tab over, and again, just make sure that we get it nice and aligned with the edge of that base piece. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and place some glue on it, and I'm going to glue it down. There we go. Now all these tabs are roughly at 45-degree angles, so they should not really encroach on each other at all. Okay, I'm going to flip that over, grab my other piece, I'm going to bend this tab over, just make sure that you've got it nice and aligned. Oops. All right, just like that. I'm going to place some glue on this tab, just fold it over, and we've got the basic structure of this thing pretty much done. There we go. Fold that over, push and hold it down. Just give it about 30 seconds or so, just to make sure that it's get a nice grip. You can push down to really get that glue into the pores of this paper. This paper is like a living, breathing thing. Okay, so at this point, what we can do is we can begin taking these tabs and doing some valley folds. Let's get them all folded in. Okay, so we have our tabs folded, and this actually does have some score lines. So you want to go ahead and get those bent into shape. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to place this on its side just so I can get kind of a bird's eye perspective on these sides here. So when I go down to glue these, I know that I'm getting them in the right spot. So do your best to get these pieces here have nice sharp angles. Okay, so as long as these line up, you know that you've hit the mark. So we're going to go ahead and put it on one side here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue on one side here on these tabs. And sometimes less is more. Okay, I'm going to fold it over and just work my way up, making sure that I'm getting my angles right. Pop this out of the way so you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay, and just do your best to make sure that's nice and aligned. Work your way up to the upper edge. Okay, there you go. There you can see that. And again, we do have some liner pieces that are going to go inside here. So these tabs will be eventually hidden. Okay. I'm going to fold that out of the way. We're going to repeat the same process on this other side. Okay, so I have one side put together here. Now, what we can do, just to make our lives easier, we'll go ahead and just put glue on all of these tabs. We're going to flip it over so that we can use a little bit of force and just kind of slide our fingers along the tabs to get them glued down to the other side while paying attention to the angles and making sure that everything lines up for us. So we've got the base of it constructed. Now what we can do is we can take this white liner piece and just place some glue on the bottom of it and just pop it in there. Okay, so it's gonna pretty it up inside, as you can see. Also gonna add a little bit more stability so that this thing can hold some larger, heavier items should it need to. And then again, I've got the texture side facing in. Now you'll notice that there's little holes on this, and these are holes that we created for brads for the three-dimensional flower that's going to go on either side. So just make sure that as you're putting these liners in, that you've got those holes matched up. Okay, so I have glue on my liner piece. And actually, the hibachi skewer for the hearts bouquet, I'm just taking it and I'm sliding it through that little brad hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the liner and then slide that through there too to kind of help me with the alignment. So the hibachi skewer is kind of using it as a guide. And now that I have it set, I can go ahead and take it out, put it on my surface and push down just to make sure that that thing gets a nice grip. Okay, so we've got that piece in place. We're going to repeat the same process on the other side. I'm not going to show you that because it's redundant. Okay, so again, we have the basic structure set. And now here are the decorative panel pieces. We're going to put these side pieces to the side just for now because we can go ahead and put these decorative panels on. We don't want to put these on yet because we need to make the handle and get that assembled first. So again, this is very simple. You take your decorative panel, just get your glue on there and be very careful, take your time, make sure you try to get it out as close to the edge as possible, but not too close because you want that edge to be nice and glued down so it's not hanging off. And then make sure you get enough glue on the inside. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, anytime I deal with large pieces like this, I find that when I don't use large globs, paper tends not to warp as much. Okay, so again, I use that hibachi skewer to help me with the lining or with the alignment, I should say. Now that I have it aligned, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and push down to get that thing to really hold. You're going to do the same thing with the other side, which I don't need to show you. So the next step is going to be to create the little handle. Okay, so we're going to take these two strips that are going to make up the handle. And before you glue these together, you do want to take them and just kind of run them along your fingers and train it so that it just has this natural slight bend to them. Okay, you don't want to glue them together when they're flat because eventually when they curve, they're going to want to come undone. So we're going to do that to both pieces. It doesn't have to be drastic, just very subtle. Just kind of get them thinking that, hey, I'm a handle and I'm going to probably spend the rest of my life in this position, and just get them trained. Now what we're going to do, and you notice here on both of these, there's little holes to help you with the alignment. Okay, so all you want to do is just put a nice line of glue on this accent piece or this inlay, and then we're going to glue that right on top. And you don't want to overdo it on the glue here because it's just going to come shooting out the side. It's going to make a big mess, and we don't want that. And of course, you want to make sure that you get a little bit of glue and a little heart at the end there, just so that stays put. Okay, and got my texture side up. Go ahead and get those holes aligned on both sides. And just push down. Make sure that gets a good grip. There we go. All right, so we have our handle, and as it's drying, just run your finger across it, make sure it gets a nice hold. And of course, probably gonna get a bunch of glitter on you. I probably still have like glitter somewhere on my body from 6 years ago, but that's what happens when you get into this stuff. So, okay, great. Okay, so I've got the base of my basket here, and what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on this, and that's just to kind of keep it in place. Eventually it may kind of come apart and swivel around, but I'm just going to put that like so, just to hold it in place while we get the rest of these pieces going. Okay, so that's good like that. And what we're going to do then is we're going to take this decorative panel, and as you can see, we've got some score lines on it here, so you kind of want to get these folded into place. And again, you've got the hole to help you with the alignment, also have the scallops on top to help you with the alignment. You're going to place glue on this panel and get that glued into place like so. So you're going to repeat this process on both sides. You're going to glue this side down as well, put your decorative panel on there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab this, this little edge piece for the top, and as you can see, there's a score line on one corner there, and that is going to get glued down like so. Okay, again, make sure that you get that little brad hole lined up, and then you're going to glue that down like so. So once you have all of these pieces glued down, you can then take a brad. We've got this pearl brad here, and just pop it through the special hole that we created for the brad, and just pop the little metal pieces out to hold it and get it in place. So the next thing you're going to want to do is create the dimensional flower. Now I have, actually, we cut out pieces for both sides, but I'm really going to show you one side because again, it's the same design on both sides. Okay, so as far as the little 3D flower goes, in the actual product photo, you don't see it very clearly, but if you kind of peel the flower back, you'll notice that there's another flower element behind it, and it looks like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to glue these two pieces together. There's basically a smaller little flower and then a shadow layer behind it. Okay, so those are going to get glued like so, and again, you're going to align that with the little hole, and I'm using the hibachi skewer just to kind of get the alignment right. So once that's glued together, just put some glue right on there, or you don't actually have to. It might be easier since it's not a dimensional part of the flower, but either way, the brad will eventually hold it down, but probably do recommend that you glue it. And then we have these 4 pieces here. We've got a larger flower, heart-shaped flower, smaller one, and then an even smaller one, and then a white little donut that's going to go on top of that. And now in our product photo, it looks like all we really did was take a pencil or something and just kind of curve the little hearts just to kind of give them some dimension. If you want, you can curve them however you want. I believe that this is how we did it in our demonstration product. So that's what I'm going to do. And actually Ron taught me a little thing where you can take whatever it is that you're trying to curl and just wrap it around a stick, and then it's a lot easier and less work. You usually get the paper to bend the way you want it in one shot instead of, so you see that curved it a lot more. So it's up to your personal taste on how you want it to look. Okay, but you're gonna just go ahead and bend these just to kind of give them a little bit of dimension. Okay, and that one's gonna go on the base. You're gonna repeat the process with the next layer of this foil. It's got a better muscle memory than paper. It kind of just really just takes hold the first time. And it looks like we're gonna go ahead and just offset these a little bit. I'll do that again with this one. Now this smaller piece, you may want to wrap around a little bit more. There you go, just like that. Paper's truly amazing actually, and what you can do with it. So that is how we did it, but we're really interested to see how you do it and see what kind of stuff you can come up with. So again, I'm gonna take this and offset it just a tad. Then you've got your white donut, pop him in the middle. Of course, if you wanna get even fancier, you can distress your pieces and add a little inking to the edges. I know some of you are getting hip with the e-brush, and I mean, there's so many things you can do. As the cliche goes, the possibilities are endless. So once you've got all that lined up, you can take your brad and pop him through the middle to keep this 3D flower into place. Okay, so for these letters here, now you'll notice that on one side it's OX, on the other side it's XO. So just make sure that you grab the right pieces for each side. You're gonna glue it to his friend here so that everything's nice and flush. And once these are glued, what we actually did is we pop dotted this onto this. So you can go ahead and start by putting this layer down wherever you'd like it on the front of your treat basket, and then pop dot this right on there, or you can glue it down, it's totally up to you. And then same goes with the O. Get that into place, glue it where you'd like. And now with the O, there's 3 layers. We've got the top piece with the larger circle, a middle piece that's white with a smaller circle, and then another, in this case, glitter piece that's the same exact shape. So you're gonna glue those down in that order, and then either pop dot or glue that down to the shadow layer. So that's basically it for the assembly of this guy. And of course, you know, we added ribbon to the handle. There's ribbon all over the place, filled it with some crinkled paper and some chocolates. And again, OX on one side, and when you flip it over, the other letters will be XO based on the shape of the heart. And finally, we've included a cute little tag that you can either write someone's name on or journal on or stamp on. Very simple, 2 pieces. Just glue them together and put some ribbon through them, and then affix it to the handle, or yeah, probably the handle is the most logical place to attach that.